Our amazing videographer, Ryan, has pulled up some pictures, and we're going to discuss and reminisce of what these pictures mean to us.
Fashion schooner.
And you haven't seen any of these photos that I'm going to show you, so.
Okay. Well, coming down the stretch here, I'm probably like the worst one to watch a race live because I get so nervous, and I'm inside the paddock judge's office, and I'm not sure exactly where it was, and I was being quiet about it. I was just like, come on, girl. And I think it was Nifty who said to me, "You got it one, you know." But I never, until they cross the finish line, I'm holding my breath until they cross the finish line.
Again.
Well, in this particular case, you know, you don't know whether you're going to win a race like the Oaks or whether you're going to finish 10th in a race like the Oaks beforehand. And just the way the races were scheduled to go off, the 12th was the only race that I thought made the most sense to warm up Cool Papa Bell. So I told Becky and Manny, my assistants, I said, if for any reason we're fortunate enough to win the Oaks, make sure you're both there, because somebody will have to drive her back, because I have to warm up Cool Papa Bell. So, like I said before, I would have liked to have been in the winner's circle there, but also it was good that I had a horse in the Hambletonian that I had to warm up too.
I got to give you a compliment, Jim. You really did a good job warming up Cool Papa Bell.
Thanks, John.
Only picture probably we'll ever have on track of both Oaks and Hambo winner together.
Yeah, how about that? Wasn't that? That's a picture of destiny.
That's what I love about Fashion Schooner. Every time this year she would win, her ears in the winner's circle would always be straightforward. It's like she knew she was supposed to be in there.
I was just so proud, of Jim, winning the Oaks, and happy for him and happy for Jules. Jules Siegel's a longtime friend of mine and Paula's, and so at that point I'm just so proud of him that he's won another Oaks, and really wasn't even thinking about the big race at that point.
0 for 2 giving out your trophy to your brother.
Yeah, at that point. Yes, at that point we rectified that.
When John and I hugged here, I had flashback to 95 when Taglaboo, because when he got off the bike, that was the first thing we did, was embraced in a big hug afterwards. And when I hugged John here, my mind flashed back to that day with Taglaboo.
Again, I just so happy for Jim, and proud of him, and because I know how much work he puts into everything, and just how much attention to detail he goes over all the time, and so it's just one of those days that, as Jim said at the top of the show, everything just came together. I mean, you could certainly make the case that Fashion Schooner had a really good chance in the Oaks. If she didn't have the 10 hole, she wouldn't have been overlooked quite that much. But Cool Papa Bell, I think, was a surprise too. When you pay $100, it's a surprise.
Good point. This is a good feeling here. My son James is beside Todd, and to have my son James there, and when we had the day that we had, was extra special to me. Just having him there, and like we said earlier, when you're holding up that Hambletonian trophy, it's a real good day. It's a feeling, I guess for us being hockey guys, it's just like hoisting the Stanley Cup.
Well, and where we grew up, we didn't have any idea what the Hambletonian was about when we were kids. We were racing around southwestern Ontario, most of the B tracks a lot of the time. Sometimes we had good enough horses, we went to Greenwood or Windsor. So we really weren't aware of the Hambletonian, other than, only top horses got to race in that and stuff you just read about, saw pictures in the harness horse. But So to get in these races and compete in them, it's a thrill. And I think going back to just being part of Hambletonian Day is special. It is, at least I never lost that feeling of pulling into the track on Hambletonian Day, and I'm sure it's the same for you.
It's a different feeling, that's for sure. Like, you can go in when you go into the paddock on Hambletonian Day. It just has a different feel to it, and you can tell by the look in the faces of other people that are competing that day. And I think for our sport, like, I don't think there's a race on the whole card that day that there's excitement in it at some point.
Yeah, I think when you look around, I think everybody that's working there, the trainers, the caretakers, the drivers, everybody knows, these are the best horses we have, and it's almost electric in that paddock because we know we're putting on a good show that day.
Well, like I said before, I'm one that's I'm thinking at the head of the stretch. I said we got a chance to get some good money, and then it was like right down near the wire before I was like thinking we got a real good chance for everything. But I didn't really say anything till he crossed the wire, and then I let out a big yell and was jumped up, and I didn't realize I was sitting down watching. I had my phone on my lap, and the phone went flying, and I ran out, and the first people I saw was 3 of my crew, and we were hugging each other and jumping up and down like we just scored the overtime goal for the Stanley Cup. This is a picture that James told me that he said Uncle John and I got a picture together, and I didn't realize till today that John was presenting James with the trainer's trophy. So without me being there, I'm proud that my son was there to accept it from his uncle.
Yeah, that was special for me too, because Callie Davies saw Jim warming up, and she said, "You'll have to accept for him." And I looked over and saw James, and I thought to myself, "No, I don't. We got a man here who can do that." So that's a good feeling for me there, just to have James involved. Well, Jim, it's been a pleasure, and thank you so much for stopping by and giving us a recap of what was clearly a historic and special day for you, and it was great for our whole family.
Well, thanks, John, and you're right, it was a great day for our whole family because, like I said before, it was a day that I never dreamed could happen, and it did happen. And I did say to somebody that day, I said there was lots of times I left the Meadowlands and I jumped in my truck and I was mad because the horses didn't race good or this didn't work out or anything like that. But when you have a good day on Hambletonian Day, you drive out of there and it's just it's a unbelievable feeling when you have a good day. I remember a couple of years ago, we didn't win the Hambletonian, we didn't win the Hambletonian Oaks, but we had starters in them that got money. But Crystal Fashion, I think, won the Cashman that year. But we had a really good day on Hambletonian Day without winning the Oaks or the Hamble, but we competed in it and made money, and we walked out of there just feeling on cloud 9. And then to have the day on Saturday to walk out of there winning both of them, it's just, there's nothing else like it on any racing day.
Well, enjoy it until things go the other way, and you can always think back and say, I had one of the greatest days in history. Jim?
I will keep that thought in mind, John, because you know me well enough. I'll need to keep that for one of them bad days.
Well, thanks for being here, Jim.
Thanks a lot, John. Really enjoyed it. And, a big shout out to the producer of all this, Ryan. Like, the job he did.
Amazing, right?
The job he did, I don't think it could have got done with anybody else.
Yeah. Thank you. One last note, not to rib on John here, but Jim is the only Campbell family member to win the Oaks and the Hambo in the same day. So maybe we'll end on that note. How about that? He didn't win that one.
I'm happy to surrender that.